Hello Stargazers, Bryan Colter here, Evolutionary Astrologer, for another horoscope report for the upcoming Taurus Blood Moon Lunar Eclipse that happens on November 8th. A November to remember, to be sure. This is going to be an exciting one. Easily the biggest lunar event of 2022, where eclipses being great harbingers of change, a shockwave of change really, happening on November 8th, but it sends out this 6-month ripple effect. I always like to use the imagery of Gandalf, slamming his staff into the ground, sending out that shockwave of change. So it's going to be a juicy one. If you like this video, please, it helps me a lot if you subscribe, like, comment, share with your friends. It helps me to get, embedded in the algorithms and get exposure to a wider audience. So thank you for that. Let's go ahead and dive in and look at the chart here. Let me bring it up. Okay. So, here we are. So we'll just get a brief overview of what's going on, which is a lot, and then we'll dive into what does it all mean. Okay, so here you can see moon opposite sun. This is a full moon. And since it's close to this horseshoe shape here on the chart, this is the nodes of the moon, the north node and the south node. And whenever the sun and moon in a lunar event get close to the nodes, it's an eclipse. That's what makes it an eclipse. And what makes this one so dramatic, besides the timing of it, is it's happening right next to Uranus. So it's highlighting the Saturn-Uranus square, which has been ongoing for really the last 2 years. This is the last hurrah, okay? Probably the biggest spike of this 2-year event is this blood moon happening right on it, okay? So really putting that into the spotlight. We'll talk about that. We also recognize here we are in Scorpio season, Sun in Scorpio. So is Mercury and Venus, and they are also square to this Saturn. And you can see these red lines in the middle. This is called a T-square. And whenever we have a big T-square in the sky, it brings about a lot of tension and a lot of friction within the collective. Now, it doesn't affect everybody individually in the same way. It depends on if this T-square is activating your own chart in a special way. So if you have sensitive points in your chart in any of the fixed signs around 15 to 20 degrees, this event is more impactful for you than the average bear, and you're feeling it more. If you don't know how to figure out if you have 15 degrees fixed energy in your chart, I do sell a $15 40-minute tutorial on my website. I'll put a link there if you want to check that out. Let's start with Uranus here, because as I said, the eclipses, great harbingers of change, often very disruptive, sudden, shocking change. So too with Uranus. They have some overlap in meaning, the eclipse and Uranian energy, because Uranus is known as the Lord of Chaos, the god of earthquakes and lightning bolts. Cliches that come to mind for Uranian times is expect the unexpected, even though that doesn't make a lick of sense. It does bring us into the spirit of this, okay? So things that are happening that are alarming, shock and awe. I can't believe my eyes. I can't believe my ears. This sort of energy. So sudden change, okay? Really put into a spotlight. And it, as you can see here, a near exact conjunction with this blood moon, within a degree of each other. Also Saturn squaring this, highlighting the Saturn-Uranian energy. So expect the unexpected, there's that. There's a deeper evolutionary meaning, which we'll get to. But again, highlighting the tension between these two planets, Saturn and Uranus, which has been ongoing, which really is this developmental process within the collective as we're going through growing pains, which is a way of describing Saturn, the planet of wisdom-inducing experience. It is recognized as the wizard archetype, which derives from the word wizened when we get lines on our faces, So this growth spurt, which also coincides with growing pains because of this tension between basically the karmic habit energies of the past, because Saturn's known as the Lord of Karma. So this is kind of like the tension between the old Saturn and the new Uranus. Uranus being the planet of innovation, we're trying to go up to a whole new degree as a collective, a whole new reality. We're trying to break free from the energetic charge of the karmic energy of the past. And history is powerful. It's led us up to this point. We as a collective are used to living life in a certain way, which is no longer in alignment with the Aquarian age, which we have now entered into. Meanwhile, Saturn's in Aquarius. The planet that the more modern rulership of Aquarius is Uranus. So both, this Aquarian age energy is really strong right now, and we're trying to move into that. And the friction between the old and the old order, and rules and regulations and restrictions and blockages, these are all words associated with Saturn. And Uranus is trying to break free from that. It's like, let me spread my wings. Let me have a free, sovereign expression of self, the planet of individuation, which is really the core of the evolutionary intention of this planet, put into a spotlight here. Now, what's super interesting about the location here in the sky of this blood moon, I was poking around looking at different charts online, different charts of countries and even individuals. And, I've been aware that there's been some ongoing protests for about the last 7 weeks in Iran. And the protests are largely motivated by the younger generations who are rebelling in Uranian fashion. Don't fence me in. It's about time I did something for myself for a change. That Uranian defiant spirit protesting against the old order, against the dark side of the patriarchy, against the regime. And the police, which Saturn represents the police force, is being violent and trying to stop them, but they're peacefully protesting for a better future because it's no longer in alignment with, again, the Aquarian age. And what's significant about this is this blood moon and Uranus is activating the Uranus in Iran's chart. And in fact, they're going through their first Uranus opposition, where Uranus is entering a dead opposition with the Uranus in the Iran's birth chart. We all experience just individually our Uranus opposition, our first one, around the ages 41 to 43. It's a little different for everybody. The Iran's birth chart is in 1979, so they're hitting their first Uranian opposition. This first freedom-seeking impulse activated, coming to a fever pitch during this blood moon right next to the Uranus in the sky opposed to Iran's Uranus. So this has been hot. It's continuing to heat up. I expect it to hit some sort of boiling point or crescendo during this full moon, so I'm keeping my eyes on Iran. And what's going on over there is classic Saturn square Uranus. So I'm very hopeful for the outcome of those people and what they're experiencing. So the tension between these two planets really thrust into the limelight. I also say, interesting, we have a lot of planets in fixed signs. We have all this Taurus energy, that's a fixed sign. All the Scorpio energy, that's a fixed sign. Aquarius, also a fixed sign. So fixity energy. And with this kind of a bottleneck, we got this T-square. Fixed signs are, beautiful, as all signs are, but one of the challenges of fixed signs is a sort of stubbornness or fixation, a fixity kind of energy. And, with this bottleneck, it kind of feels like a deadlocking or a fixation or a traffic jam. Meanwhile, Uranus and eclipses are about breaking free, about sudden disruptive change during a deadlock. And this deadlock very much feels like, a traffic jam on the 405 in LA in rush hour. And, passions will be high, especially during a full moon. When the moon is full, on average, people feel more intensely because the moon represents heart. It influences our astral body, our emotional body, and our emotional heart. So during the traffic jam energy that wants to break free, in the traffic jam on the 405, some people will be kind of frustrated, of course. They're at the end of a long work day. Here they are stuck in 6 lanes of traffic. So, Some people will be in this road rage mode, trying to muscle into a lane, hoping for more efficiency, or, honking on their horn, frustrated. So tensions arise, frustrations arise, T-square, traffic jam, okay? But some people on the 405 use this as an evolutionary opportunity, leveraging this more spiritual approach of this too shall pass. Yes, it's inconvenient, but it doesn't really help if I get in this more frustrated, reactive, emotional place, and rather try to enter into this more peaceful, body-centered, which is the heartbeat of Taurus here, which we'll continue to talk about, a more body-centered quiescence within the jam. And that's really the art form of navigating this eclipse. Recognizing, knowing is half the battle, how this is going to disrupt the collective and some shocking events happening in our own personal lives. Again, if you have fixed energy in your birth chart getting activated, but recognizing I don't have to react in that way. This too shall pass. Now, in terms of these 3 planets in Scorpio square the Saturn, Saturn, this is challenging times. As I said, it's growth-inducing experience, and the nature of Saturn is it's just hard. So too are squares. So this is hard. I'm not trying to downplay that, but there is a way to work with it. But some of this hardship is involved with all the Scorpio energy, which is a lot about hard-hitting psychological truths, charged emotions, trying to come out through communication because, Mercury's in the mix. Mercury's the messenger of the gods, the planet of ideas and words, and communicating those ideas, communicating fierce truths, truths being revealed, that sort of energy is coming up here as well. Venus is in the mix, a deeply relational sign, so an exchange of ideas between people within the bottleneck, within the traffic jam, kind of muddled and confused and not really able to get our ideas across, which can increase the frustration. So there's kind of blockage energy. Saturn represents blockage energy, blockage of ideas, truths coming to light, but our understanding, our perception of those ideas, it's going to be difficult to kind of cut through the noise. However, we can figure out how to cut through the noise by working with Taurus. Before I get to that, though, I just want to make mention that this dawned on me, that this eclipse is happening. I know Elon Musk has been in the news a lot because he just acquired Twitter, which is very interesting timing. It's like, why would you buy Twitter in eclipse season? Are you crazy? He needs an astrologer. But obviously, I feel like it just kind of happened by chance in that way. But it was having to deal with legal proceedings and stuff, so he didn't really choose that time. But here he is doing that. And this is, happening right during election. By the way, I can't remember if I mentioned this, the Blood Moon is happening on election day, which I'm sure you were all aware. This is the first time in U.S.'s history that we've had an eclipse on election day. And we won't have another one for probably another couple hundred years, so wow, the timing of this is just wild, okay? So the political implications of this are massive. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but I know it's going to be, this is the midterms. Midterms are hugely important, but it's not like the big show, right? But it's becoming the big show because of all this energetic charge coinciding with it, okay? All these energies I've been talking about. And here poor Elon comes in and gets Twitter right as this is happening. And of course, Twitter is very political. That's a major focus of it, is political ideas and exchanging that. But I looked at the whole point I brought him up is that his nodes of the moon in his chart are at 16 degrees of Leo and Aquarius over here. So he has Saturn conjunct his north node in Aquarius, and Uranus and the Blood Moon directly, almost exactly, square his nodes. So what this means basically for Elon, this is a deeply karmic time for him. And this next week, probably even next 6 months, but especially next week, is going to be very challenging for him. The growth potential is tremendous, but it's going to be challenging. It's highlighting this axis between Aquarius and Leo, which is so karmic for him. His past life experience was Leo in the second house, which is Leo the king in the second house of money. Well, it's like he recreated that, right? The richest man in the world. So all that king energy in the house of money and the challenges of that sort of lifetime mixed with a lifetime that's fraught with expectations about what is proper behavior as being the king. This is the symbology here. Being activated now, the karmic wave breaking in his life, blood moon activating his nodes. This axis between the habit energies of the past is expectations from others about who he should be, what he should do, okay? Meanwhile, his karmic medicine, his remedy is Aquarius, which is the rebel archetype, the revolutionary and the genius. So can he in this lifetime learn to value above all else his own inner genius and not let the opinions of others influence his inner genius, coming into a fever pitch now during this blood moon squaring it? So the challenge is there. I'll also say in his karmic signature, there does seem to be a deep trauma, sudden trauma signature. And let's hope that, nothing happens to him during this full moon. I don't get into the predictive doom and gloom stuff, but, it does activate that trauma signature. But it's more likely just the Aquarian-Leo interactions as I described. So I'm going to be keeping my eyes peeled on Iran, as well as the situation with Twitter. Of course, we always want to keep our eye on the whole Russia-Ukraine situation and the midterms. So, this is going to be wild week. Again, November to remember. But, we talk about things to expect, energy to witness, feel within a lot of ourselves. I am generalizing here. But then also witnessing those feelings within the collective, the challenges, but also the evolutionary intention. And in terms of powerful ways to navigate this period, the bullseye really is Taurus. I mean, Uranus is in Taurus, the blood moon itself is, the north node of the moon, the collective karmic medicine is in Taurus. If we were to just focus on Taurus now, even though there's so much going on, we're going to make it through okay, So Uranus, this idea of working with Uranus in your life is the path of individuation. Uranus representing the guardian to our real self, connecting to our soul energy, our divine personality, and also simultaneously recognizing the extent to which our more malleable human personality has been influenced by others, by culture and family over the course of our life, and nature and nurture, the way this is often framed, making up the very complex human personality in this current incarnation. So, working with Uranus is becoming more in alignment with your true self, less so with how you've been influenced by others. Okay, and it being in Taurus, all this Taurus energy points to, an intrapsychic process, because signs are psychological, they're motivational. Okay, so this energetic texture, this motivation to achieve that evolutionary intention of individuation through the art form that is Taurus. Okay, and Taurus, I did say it is the bullseye because it's known as the bull. Okay, so really any animal in the animal kingdom. It represents the animal spirit. It represents Mother Nature. It represents earthiness, grounded, peace. Okay, so entering within that peace within ourselves. So amidst the chaos, going towards our individuated path through that slight course correction during the Gandalf staff shockwave in the ground, a willingness to spend time in silence, Taurus style, developing your affinity to Mother Nature, okay? Attuning yourself to the natural world, connecting to that instinctual part of you that knows your divine essence, that knows your inner truth, connecting with your physical body, also connecting with your own instincts, because as I said, there's going to be truths coming to light, and There's also going to be a lot of chaos of ideas exchanged. Okay. Sometimes it's hard to know what is true and what isn't. Your instinct knows. Your body knows. Your gut feeling knows. Your subconscious mind knows. I learned from a Christian mystic. He was asked once, where's the subconscious in the locational in your body? He says it's actually in your solar plexus. So that gut feeling, that gut instinct and connection. So during this time, amidst the chaos, just feeling in your bones what feels right, what feels true. Your true north node in Taurus. And also feel, too, for uneasiness. Your logic might say to go one way, to take a certain action, okay, or to say a certain thing. But if that's not in alignment with your solar plexus, if you feel that uneasiness, you need to return to congruency, okay? To return to that instinct with what is right. And then commit to trusting those more instinctual messages, which will then give you that appropriate course correction. And also through this instinct, the tool here of Taurus is the ability to see through pretense and to not be seduced by it, because there's going to be a lot of that going around. So attunement to instinct. And an attunement to what's truly important in the long scheme of things and what is not. Kind of like wise old Navajo energy. That groundedness, that wisdom, that reasonableness. Okay. The more we do this, the more certainty we create about what is right, but the more peace we create within ourselves and that deep grounding. And literally getting out into nature would be really good now. And that will course correct you, give you that little bump towards that more Uranian path of an individualistic expression of self. And these are the core evolutionary intentions, with the goal being to expand our consciousness. Now we're going to transition to one of my favorite meditations that I love to share during eclipses. I shared it on this channel, maybe I think back in May or something, where we leverage meditation and the superpower of our imagination and our consciousness to also shift into this new timeline, create the shockwave for ourselves in the way that we really want to. So I use a technology called binaural beats. I'm recommending using headphones for best results. Enjoy. Make yourself comfortable. This meditation is best done lying down, but sitting is okay too. And just relax every muscle in your body. And focus on your breath. With each slow inhale, you feel that expansion in your body. And with each exhale, you feel relaxed as you blow out all the stress of the day. And focus on your physical body and wrap your entire body with your attention. And focus on the right hand. And bring your attention all the way to the right thumb fingertip. And feel the fingernail of the right thumb. And begin to visualize etheric vitality in your right thumb as a snow white color. And begin to see, hear, and feel this white energy move from your right thumb to your index finger. And now to your middle finger, ring finger, and the pinky. And see the energy flow into your right palm. And now the back of the hand, the right wrist, lower arm, elbow, upper arm, right shoulder, armpit. Flow down your right rib cage into your waist, the right waist, right hip, into the thigh, and see this etheric vitality in the back of your thigh, and now the front of your thigh, the right kneecap, back of the knee, shin, calf muscle. Now into the right ankle, now the heel, into the sole, and now into the right big toe, second toe, third, fourth, and fifth. And now flow up into the top of the right foot and expand your awareness throughout the entire right side of your body. See this white energy in the right side of your body. Now move your attention to your right thumb. See, hear, and feel this white energy go into the index finger, middle, ring, and pinky. And now into the palm of the left hand. Back of the hand, wrist, lower arm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, armpit, left waist, hip, back of the left thigh, front, kneecap, back of the left knee, shin, calf muscle, down into the left ankle, heel, sole, top of the left foot, left big toe, second toe, third, fourth, and fifth. And now spread your awareness throughout the entire left side of your body. And now feel this subtle life force at the top of the head, at the crown, into the forehead, right eyebrow, left eyebrow, right eyelid, left eyelid, right eye, left eye, nose, tip of the nose, upper lip, cheeks, lower lip, chin, and now spread up both jaw lines into both ears and wrap around the back of the head. And now down into the neck. And now feel your entire head and neck. Now move into the chest area and sternum, stomach, and down into the groin. Now feel the entire front side of your body. And now the back side of your body. And see this white energy glowing in the entire physical body. In your mind's eye, feel your entire body and see yourself shining with this bright snow white energy. And this etheric vitality is stimulating every cell of your physical body. Now, on the count of 3, I want you to imagine all of your cells dying in a split second and immediately replaced by all new cells. 1, 2, 3. And I want you to forget all the memories of the past. You are now reborn. Imagine yourself as reborn. And this is your first day on Earth. You are now a clean slate. Now I want you to imagine that your future self from 1 year from now walks into the room and is now standing before you. And since you've forgotten all past memories, you only have the memories between now and 1 year from now. And take some time here to allow your future self to explain to you all the accomplishments and successes that you've had over the last year. She might even give you some reasons why you've accomplished them. And let the imagery of your mind flow. You might start to generate pictures of how that might have happened or what that might look like. And just have the curiosity of a child and wonder to your heart's content. There's no need to consider how these things are possible. He or she is just explaining it to you as if it's already happened. Feel the excitement of the year before you. Now imagine your future self now turning into a bright, shimmering light and dissolving into you. And feel this mist surrounding you, favoring you, a mist that's very pleased with you. And feel as though your body is a sponge absorbing that mist. Allow your mind to describe a few words that would describe this upcoming year for you. What words come up regarding these successes of this year? It might only be a couple, but that's okay. Just let the mind flow as you bring information and insight in. Now, as we prepare to end this meditation, and as the music fades, I want you to keep your eyes closed, but to take your hands and bring them up to your face and allow them to cover your face. And consider as if you're about to step through a doorway into that future. And when you slowly start to open your eyes, also start to open your hands as if you're starting to open and step through a portal or a doorway into a new future. Welcome to your new timeline.